Let's talk about credit cards. Is it worth to get cashback credit cards? Is it just all a big scam, a big game? I refuse to touch credit cards. Let me tell you a little quick story. When I was a young man or younger, I had a business and I abused credit cards. It wasn't even business credit cards, it was personal credit cards to help finance part of the business. And unfortunately, had a partner that was a business partner that wasn't very trustworthy. So I learned a hard lesson, was in some pretty serious debt. But over the years, I managed to get myself out of debt. I had some creditors knocking on the door, so to speak, ringing my telephone. And, I made some deals with them personally and got, instead of going to collection agencies, I slowly paid off some of the credit cards. One or two went to collection and whatever. I dealt with the collection agencies and did what I had to do. So I eventually got all the debt paid off through some hard work. Took a few years to do it, but it really dinged my credit score. Well, I had a bad taste in my mouth for years, more than 10 years, 15 years, whatever, about credit cards. I mean, yeah, it was my own fault, but still it left a mark, Well, as I got older, and my career was going pretty good, I decided to get a credit card. And at that time, it was Capital One, because they'll give credit cards just about anybody, even if you have like poor, maybe not poor credit, but if your credit's low or you don't have credit at all. That's true for a lot of people, or especially young people. Capital One will give you a credit card. Just go with their lowest credit card. I'm not going to cover all that right now. You can look that up on your own, because we're going to dive into a little bit of cashback credit cards specifically here in a minute. But I'm just giving you some background about how I went from A to B. So they were the first ones. I happen to have a bank account with them as well. But, they sent me a little offer in the mail. I said, you know what, I'm going to do this. It was one of their cheapy low-end cards. You don't pay any annual fees or anything, but what I mean by cheap is your credit line's pretty low, maybe $1,000 or something like this, right? $1,500. But I began to use it. It wasn't a cashback card. It was just a regular credit card, not a debit card, a bona fide credit card. From Capital One. I use it to buy gas, groceries, stuff like that. Well, guess what? Within not even a year, less than that, maybe 6 months, I was getting other offers in the mail for credit cards. Now, I learned my lesson as a young man not to abuse credit cards, so I knew not to go down that road again. I was very responsible. Even with the Capital One card, I paid the balance off every month because I didn't want to pay interest and late fees. So I never, my point with this part of the video is that I didn't go beyond my means, right? I still budgeted just like if it was a bank debit card for my checking account, but I just used the credit card. And why would I do that? Because it helped build up my credit score. So if you're out there and you don't think you can get a credit card, that's not true. Capital One will probably give you a credit card. And if they don't, then you can, if you absolutely had to go, they also offer a credit card where you put a little cash into it. I think it's like $500 because you got to start somewhere. But that's for people who have really poor, like absolutely horrible credit. You may have to do that. But for the rest of the people, even if you have no credit or low credit, Capital One will probably give you a card, their lowest card. And this is a great way to get started, okay? So anyway, that's what I did. I have a pretty good job and get a pretty good salary, so that helps when you're filling out your profile for credit cards. They'll ask you what your salary is and all that stuff like that. That goes a long way towards what kind of cards you can get your hands on. So you have to take that into account. But I started getting offers in the mail. But I had learned my lesson from the past. I didn't just accept every credit card. Most of them went in the garbage. So what did I do? I only looked for credit cards that were going to give me a high credit balance. Yeah, the first Capital One card was only $1,500. But after that, I was looking for credit cards that give me a high balance, like really high credit line, I should say. Not high balance, but high credit line. All right. Because that goes towards increasing your credit score, right? Your credit worthiness. Okay, so let's now talk about cashback credit cards. Are they worth it? So here's one of the cards I have. I have 3 credit cards. The Capital One is like gave me a new card, kind of bumped me up to their next card automatically, but I don't really use them that much. Okay, I use 2 other cards. First, we're going to talk about Discover. Okay, Discover. So I have a really good credit line with them. I'm not going to talk about what my credit credit line is pretty high. Okay, it depends on your credit score, where you're at in life, how much income you're making, stuff like that comes into play. Okay, but so they gave me a really good credit line, number one. So that's why I took this card. And number two, look at the cash back, guys. This is just this year already alone, just in up the first 11 months of the year. I made $183 in cash back. Now, this isn't clipping coupons and going to the store. This is $183 that you can literally take out of your Discover Awards program and move it to your checking account. You can see a summary here. Throughout the year, I made $118 on 1% cashback bonuses. They have some 5% cashback bonuses. Like right now, I'm participating in the Amazon and Target. I don't really go to Target that much, but occasionally I do buy stuff on Amazon. So I get 5% cash back between October 1st and December 31st. Yes, it's only up to $1,500 in purchase, but just think about it. 10% of this would be $150, so 5% would be $75. That's $75 of free money if you spend this much. I mean, I'm not going to probably, but I'm just letting you know it's still worth it. So here's the 5% cash back I got throughout the year, $50. And everywhere else, occasionally they'll send you offers. Like I got one about a month ago. For like a week or two, they'll extend an offer. I think this was a 6% cash back at grocery stores. So, for those 2 weeks I was grocery shopping, I picked up some groceries and I got 6% cash back. So that's this everywhere else kind of stuff. They'll come under this category. So occasionally they'll send you an email and you just make sure it's really from them, do your due diligence, it's not spam. And then if you participate in some of those programs, they'll give you extra cash back. So that's where I get extra money here. So for the whole year, $183, that's great. I can parlay that $183 into buying stock. I can parlay it put it in my savings account, because right now savings accounts, and I'll do another video on that. I got a savings account at Primis Bank. They're paying over 5%. So guess what? I take the $183, I put it right into my savings account. Or maybe you take the $183 and you combine some other money that you've saved up or from your paycheck or whatever, and you buy yourself a $1,000 corporate bond. Okay, and those are the things we can talk about in another video, but just trying to get you to understand that it's free money. Okay, and you can parlay it in to make even more money if you're smart. Now, I'm not saying you're going to be a millionaire, but every little bit helps, right? Okay, let's switch over to another card, and we'll talk about that card as well. There's different ways you can use the bonus cash back. Like you can use it to buy other stuff. You can do it. You can use the money to pay down the card if you have a balance on the card. But I don't like doing that. Let me tell you why I don't think it's a good idea to use your cashback bonus to pay down the card, because that's just paying down the debt, right? You're not earning interest when you do that. I mean, in theory, you could just take the $183, pay down your card, and then take another $183 out of your checking account and move it towards your savings, let's say. There's a lot of ways you can do it, but my point is, you want this money to work for you, right? Put it to work. Don't just go buy pizza and shoes and stupid stuff and, put the money to work. Yeah, you could, in life we got to spend money on some things to pay bills, but you want to try to put this money to work. That's the way you really use this cash back, okay? Let's switch over to another credit card and I'll show you another one I have. Okay, this one's Chase. Now, I happen to have a Chase Sapphire Preferred card. This is kind of a really high-end card. It's one of the higher-end cards for Chase. Not everybody's going to qualify for this card, but again, it's just because I have a decent salary and all that other stuff that comes into play. But it should be a goal of yours. Okay, you should be trying to get credit cards again that have a really high credit line, and this one does. Again, I won't go into the exact amount, but it's a really high credit line. All right, and I took that card because of that high credit line. Right, really high credit line. Chase Sapphire Preferred is, I think you pay $95 a year for this card. This is one of those cards that you pay. Now, I can just hear some people say, oh, I'm not ever going to pay for a card, but think about it. Look at all these points I got throughout the year, because I use this card quite a bit in addition to the Discover card. All right, look at all these points. This is 1 penny for every point, okay? Sometimes 2 pennies, but one penny gives you, one point gives you 1 penny. So you just take 10% here. This is $1,300. $1,300 this year. So I paid $95 to get $1,300 back? Yeah, you bet. Okay, you understand? And here, you can see some of the ways I earned it, whatever. I did some dining. This would be like, dining includes just going to Starbucks or, whatever. You're out to get a pizza, whatever you're doing. Okay, you can see I did a lot here too, online groceries. Okay, a bunch of other purchases that whatever. They give you anniversary points. Every year you get this huge anniversary points. Like, I don't remember what mine is. It's pretty high. I think it's like, I'll get like 750 points at the end of the year. So in addition to you getting all these other points, every year they give you this, they kick in this bonus points. So for me to be like, if it's 750 points, I'll get like $75 out of it. It might even be higher. I don't remember. All right. So these are my earnings just this year, $1,300, but total redemptions are this. Look at this. That's right. You're reading this right. This is $10,000 in bonus points throughout the time I've owned this card. $10,000. When I signed up for this card, they gave me this huge sign-up bonus. That's part of what's in here. It's like huge money. Okay. So as you're going along and you're paying, just use your card for everything. Just make sure at the end of every month that you don't be immature. If you like burning a hole in your pocket with money, then don't get a credit card. If you don't have the discipline, don't do it. Just live off of regular debit card or your checking and until if you get the discipline. Okay, I have the discipline. I pay off the card every month. If you're the type of person that can do that, then great. You should be striving to get like the Sapphire Preferred card. Okay, because this is going to, trust me, if you can qualify for this card, it's going to jack up your credit score. And if you can't qualify for, that's fine. Work with the lower end cards until you get up there. Okay. So, this video is about, is it worth it? Are cash back cards a scam? No, they're not a scam. The only way that you're really getting scammed is not the only way, but the primary way that people get hurt by credit cards is they abuse them. But the cashback is not a scam. It's legit. And you can bet your bottom dollar that this 1,300 points or $1,300, I parlayed this. If you don't know what parlay is, you can look it up. Just means I took it and use it in such a way to make even a better gain, if you will, or even more benefit. Parlay is you go from one benefit to the next. So I parlayed this $1,300 into a corporate bond. If you don't know about corporate bonds, that's fine. You can look them up. Okay. But I have a broker and I took the $1,000, $1,300 and I bought a corporate bond. Some corporate bonds you can buy for $1,000. I think I bought a Ford corporate bond, which was paying a pretty good interest rate. There you go. Free money being converted into something that pays me interest. And it's one of those bonds that'll probably mature in 20 years or whatever. So guess what? I'm getting residual income interest every 6 months from the corporate bond from free money from Chase. All right. So it's all cumulative, guys and gals. I don't recommend going out and getting 5 and 10 credit cards. That's a bad idea. Just 3's just limit yourself. Okay. If it's your first credit card, just stick with that one for a while until you can really go get you can nail down a high, like a Discover card, which is not kind of medium, it's not high, or a Chase Sapphire card, preferred card. Okay. The last thing I want to finish up, and I didn't mention this with the Discover card. The Discover card, they give you a free FICO report, which is really nice. I think it's FICO, or I think it's called FICO. It basically tells you your credit score, and it gives you all the categories of where you can improve, where you're doing really well to bump up your credit score, and where you could still use improvements. And it's free. It comes with a Discover card. That's great. Every month I check it. And I just improve on the areas where it shows you where my weaknesses are, and I just keep refining and tweaking and improving my credit score. My credit score, by the way, is very good. It's very good. It's almost at the point of excellent. But I've worked hard to get there. Okay, so that's what you want. You want to get your credit score all the way up into the excellent, way up into the 800s. Okay, and you want to enjoy the benefits of cash back. And I think the best way to enjoy those benefits is to pay yourself or parlay it into buying corporate bonds or put into a high interest 5% savings account. Like I said, I'll talk about maybe Primis Bank at another time, but Primis Bank has a savings account that's over 5% right now. You can do CDs that are even a little bit higher. So there's a lot of ways you can parlay this cash into even more cash. All right. I hope everybody really enjoyed the video. No, I don't have any little links at the bottom where you can go, where I'm going to get extra sign-up bonuses. Maybe I should have done that, but whatever, it doesn't matter. Hope you really enjoyed the video. Be smart about your finances. Okay. God bless everybody. We'll talk to you all real soon again next time.